All right, let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Yeah, I kind of like that call that you put on from Germany, I guess it was, that Stefanski is doing less with more. And of course, you know, if Belichick and Stefanski traded teams, the Belichicks would win every time. Doesn't matter what the roster is. That's the mark of a bad coach. And the way Dave and Quincy were so dismissive of anything negative about Stefanski, they are very biased, in my opinion. I think maybe Joe Woods and Stefanski both got COVID brain. And they lost a bunch of IQ points, and they can't be creative anymore. Another thing, that whole locker room saw the way Stefanski threw Baker Mayfield, the team's quarterback, under the bus last year, leaving T.J. Watt one-on-one against Blake Hance, playing right tackle, and Watt collected all those sacks, like making Mayfield a sacrificial lamb, because Stefanski didn't like him, knew the team wasn't keeping him, and the hell with him, even though he was injured. How hard do you think the team's going to want to play for that? They get paid the same either way. Why should they play any harder for Stefanski, who showed himself to be a ruthless dweeb with brain damage from COVID now?
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. But let's look at some facts now. So Bill Belichick was a head coach here when he was a first-time head coach back in 1991. Belichick didn't make the playoffs until 1994, 3 years in. Stefanski made it in his first year. Belichick chased Bernie Kosar out of town, kind of ruthlessly, diminishing skills. I can only go by what I see. Yeah, I covered Bill Belichick. And the thing is, an owner in New England let him develop, and that's why he became a good coach. Am I saying that Kevin Stefanski is going to be Bill Belichick? Not necessarily. I'm saying you have to let young coaches develop. It's the reason this franchise has been struggling. Every time there's any sense of, well, they're underperforming, it's fire the coach, change the format, and see what happens, and you start all over again. Don't agree with everything that Kevin Stefanski has done, but since you want to bring up the Bill Belichick coordination and comparisons, Bill Belichick was 33-46 in his years here with the Cleveland Browns trying to rebuild. Kevin Stefanski so far is 21-18. Again, do I agree with everything the guy has done? No, that's just not the way a football coach is going to be. Do I think he can coach? Yeah, and give him some time and let's see what happens. That's why I am very dismissive when somebody wants to fire a guy after 3 years on the job, one of which he made the playoffs, another of which you were decimated with an injured quarterback, and in his third year, you had a quarterback circus because of the suspension to Deshaun Watson. Now, they brought that on themselves, but this guy hasn't had a quarterback yet that he wants. Give him some time with Deshaun Watson, and let's see what happens, and stop with the firing. Yeah, the team is underperforming. Let's see if they can pull out of it. But just stop with the fire the head coach. That's why we're in this situation to begin with.